Hey guys, so in today's video, I am trying to get caught up on some video editing. My daughter surprised me and brought me in breakfast. It was grits and bacon and eggs and a cinnamon roll, and it was delicious. I had already made me a protein shake, and you can see that sitting over to the side, but that was my plan for this day, was just to get some videos edited. So I decided to just kind of bring you guys along so you can kind of see what my setup is. I normally try to do everything in the studio, but y'all, I was really enjoying my breakfast, so I could barely even get any editing done because I was scarfing my food down. So that's pretty much all I did this day, was just try to get videos edited, and I figured you guys probably didn't want to look at me look at the computer screen all day, but I did want to let you guys know, that's part of running the small business, doing some of the things that I'm not going to say I don't particularly enjoy doing, but it is time consuming and it takes away from me doing some of the things that I really do enjoy doing, which is creating and making products. So on this day in the studio, I thought I would just run in and just get some things tidied up because I knew I needed to make a few products. But unfortunately, this was another fail day at me trying to be productive, because I got a phone call shortly after I started doing things in the studio, that I needed to go and run some errands for my mom and do some things for the kids. So unfortunately, I really didn't get much of anything done in the studio. I was able to actually put away some of the things that I actually showed you. I think it was I don't know, 2 videos ago, I'm not real sure. Hey guys, so I am back. I have been doing a little cleaning, just trying to get things put where they need to be. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys in on a bit of a secret. I started, or tried to start, doing my sticky notes or notepads. Colossal mistake. But because I told you guys I would bring you along, and I am a woman of my word, I am going to show you what happened, so you guys can give me inspiration or insight. Give me some examples of maybe how I need to change some things up. But and I got my GoPro back, so now I have 2 GoPros. Yay me. But so let me get a little close. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or not. I'm hoping you can. So this is the I was doing notepads, and I actually bought this little paper cutter, which is not for me, and maybe I just don't know what I'm doing, I don't know. But I bought this because I was thinking, oh, I'll just use it, cut it down. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do a lot of sheets at a time, but I actually can only do about 4, maybe 5, I think at the most, with this. And the other issue that I ran into with this is that they were not all the same size. So I know with this you probably can't tell the difference, but I have some that, I mean, they're noticeably, well, to me, they're noticeably different, the sizes. So that was that on this. And then I got the bright idea, because I do still work a 9 to 5. I got the bright idea that I knew that at my job they have what I guess it's called a guillotine, where you just sit the paper on and you chop it down. So I was like, oh, I'll just take a few sheets in and see if that works. And then if it works, I'll just invest in me one for here. So this, I'm not sure you guys can see, but this is noticeably, and it was probably user error on my part. Also, the guillotine, it wasn't sharp, so a lot of the pages kind of ripped. But anyway, they're not all the same size. So I got frustrated. So what I'm doing now is I'm just changing courses altogether. This will be something that I may pick up this weekend when I have a little bit more time. But for right now, I think what I am going to do is make some things for the shop. Hey, baby. How was school?
It was good. I got a...
Okay, y'all, so it is the same day, just a little bit later. I apologize. My son came home from school, and I always try to spend time with him when he gets home, just to ask him how his day went, all that kind of stuff. So what I was saying before is my notepad didn't work out quite so well, so I am going to go ahead and make some carpet deodorizer. I pretty much have everything set up. I am just going to get some craft paper to sit here on the table so that if I make a mess, which I probably will, it won't be too bad. And then we can go ahead and get started. So I bought this craft paper, I don't know, a while back. I actually did not buy it for the shop. I bought it for something completely different, and it just happened to work out. I didn't have to use it, so. Whenever I run out of paper that I get, let's say from an order or something like that, then I bring out this paper. Okay, well, give me just a second because I know this paper is really loud. Let me go ahead and finish getting set up and we'll get started. Okay, so I have everything pretty much already out and sanitized, and this is just alcohol. And I just kind of try to keep everything wiped down as I go. Today I will only be making one of my scents. And I thought it would be fitting if I went ahead and did the Not Today, I think is what I pulled out, or was it Relax? No, I pulled out my Relax scent. So I will be making the Relax fragrance. And this is another reason, if you've seen my previous video, you know that I pre-mixed all of my scents. Because of situations like this, instead of me having to go in and pull out the fragrances and mix them and blend them, it's just a lot easier for me to already have them blended. So the only thing I do is just kind of give it a little shake. I still have not ordered. I was supposed to order my beakers. I still hadn't ordered it. I have to put that on my to-do list. So if this is something that you want to do, something that you want to make in your shop, you'll have to find your own formula. A good rule of thumb is to do 1 pound per 1 tablespoon of fragrance oil. And then you can go from there. That's kind of where I started from. Actually, I started with a few drops and it didn't give me that aroma. And then I just kind of played with it. So depending on which fragrance I use within my collection is the amount of fragrance oil to baking soda. So with this particular fragrance, I can't remember if this one was a little heavier or lighter, but anyway, that's just kind of a good rule of thumb. The little boxes of baking soda, that is 1 pound. So if you get one of those boxes, you have to just do 1 tablespoon. So that's kind of what it equates to. I typically don't just do 1. Today I will be doing 4 of each of my sizes. So I have the 16 ounce, and then I also have the 8 ounce. So I will be making 4 of each. So I already did my calculations, and I am going to go ahead. I'm sorry, that's what I was looking at. My calculations are over there. So let me go ahead and get you guys the angle a little bit better so you can kind of see the table instead of looking at me, and so you can kind of see what it is that I'm doing. So the first thing that I do is measure out the amount of fragrance oil that I'm going to need for the amount of containers that I have. The next thing that I do is measure out my baking soda. Now, I would always recommend that you do this step in a very well ventilated area, because even as I'm trying to do this as carefully as possible without causing a lot of dust particles to fly everywhere. I'm actually at this point looking for a mask and could not locate one, as well as my spoon, which I'm going to later need. But anyway, I do recommend that you use this in a very well ventilated area, or have some type of air circulation system in the studio if you do plan to use this, because it is extremely, there's a lot of particles that fly around when you're working with this baking soda. Here I'm realizing that I actually changed the amount of containers that I was doing and are going to make. So I decided to make, again, to double check my calculations to make sure that I wasn't adding too much or not enough fragrance oil or baking soda in this case to the mixture. After I finally get the desired amount of baking soda and fragrance oil, I actually go through and break up the clumps from the baking soda before I actually add the oil. I did cut that part out because I didn't want the video to be too long, but I also wanted to make sure that I mentioned it here for you guys to let you know that you do probably need to go ahead and try to break it up as much as possible. It's going to clump back up anyway after you add in the fragrance oil. I do try to use the whisk initially just to kind of start the process of mixing it, but after I get the fragrance oil somewhat, I guess not necessarily saturated with the baking soda, then I go in with my hands and I just try to blend it as well as I possibly can, just with my hands. So again, I go through and I do this for a good bit of time, and here I'm just showing you how you'll see fragrance oil clumps, and I just break those up. There'll be, depending on the amount of fragrance oil you use, there may be a lot. Some bags of baking soda, it's for whatever reason they don't clump as much. Not real sure. I know it has something to do with the moisture, so I'm assuming it's the weight of the fragrance oil, but again, I am not an expert. I'm just telling you what I have experienced. So anyway, I go through and I do this until I feel like the consistency is what I would like for it to be. So this is where I basically tell you that I purchased a set of funnels from the dollar store, and I try to use those when I am filling my containers. And this is also where I'm telling you guys that I forgot to get my spoon, which the spoon that I was using, or that I use in the studio, is just a silver spoon. The next time that I make this, I'll try to make sure that I have everything out. But as you can see, it gets to be, it's very time consuming using the funnel, because initially, and you see I gave up the small funnel and I go in for the larger funnel. But although it worked, it would work a lot better if you just had just a small, like a tablespoon of some sort. You can purchase it from the dollar store, which is where I got mine, and it would be so much easier to fill those. So on the last day of the vlog, I decided to do a little bit more cleaning. I made carpet deodorizer the day or a couple of days before, and I put a little bit down on the carpet, and I decided it would be a good time before I got started on something else to go ahead and get that all vacuumed up and get the shop, the studio in working order. So that is what I'm doing here. On this day of the video, I was actually having audio issues, not real sure what was going on with my microphone. So don't pay any attention to the fact that the words that are coming out of my mouth do not match up with this audio. The real nugget here that I want you to pay attention to is the fact that what I was really explaining to you guys is that during the video I was tapping the containers on the table. I would not recommend that you do that, only because the oil and the baking soda will clump together, and it will make it extremely difficult for it to come out of the container. You won't be able to sprinkle it, around, because it'll get clumped together when you tap it, and it'll become compacted within that container. So I did do that just a little bit in my video, and I thought about it when I was doing the editing that I did need to bring up that point to you guys. Especially when you're new. I know I made that mistake in the very beginning, and I was wondering what was going on, and then it hit me. That was why. So anyway, I did want to bring that up to you guys. This is where I basically end the video. I'm telling you guys that in the next vlog, what I plan to do is do some more blending on my fragrances, and I plan to make a few products. I wasn't real sure what products I was going to make. I'm thinking maybe some samples. But yeah, that was pretty much it for this video. I do thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. If there's anything in particular that you would like to see, please leave it in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.